Now, did you know that since 2014, women have made up the majority of solicitors in Ireland, and that number continues to grow each year, with female solicitors now also forming the majority of trainees entering the profession. Across the country, women are building successful legal careers while contributing to thriving local communities. And this year, the Law Society is encouraging female leaders in the solicitors profession to share their stories, spark conversation and influence other women seeking careers in law. And to share their stories, I'm joined in studio by a familiar face and a familiar voice, Avril Collentine, with Cahir Co Solicitors. Good morning to you, Avril.
Good morning, Alan.
And a new face to Morning Focus, Secretary of the Clare Law Association, Clare Barry. Clare, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Alan. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah, no, delighted to have the two of you in, and in particular, kind of to hear your stories. And you know, Avril, you were in giving legal advice on many matters, but we've never actually heard how you got into this. Got into this racket.
Yeah, the listeners will be well familiar, or sick listening to me maybe. But yeah, I'm qualified since 2014. So I'm part of this, I suppose, rising tide. I qualified at a time where there was the female majority. But I studied I studied arts in Galway, and then I got a good grounding there, studied legal science, English, and then I decided I wanted to pursue the career in law. So that's, there's no one pathway, I suppose, into law. There's different routes, and I was lucky enough then I could do my FE1s off the back of the degree in the LLB, and that's how I got into it.
Okay, yeah, because interesting when you say you were doing an arts degree. It's I'm not sure how usual that is, but I'm sure people have gotten into law doing drastically other different things.
That's it. You need a degree to do your exams, I think, Claire, is that correct? You don't need to have a law degree.
Yes.
So there's loads of different people and pathways into it, which is good because it gives everybody, comes from a different background, different perspective. Yeah. And I suppose with the arts degree you do a lot of critical thinking, reading, studying, and you get a lot of practice in different areas or experience in different areas that kind of suits you then, or you can decide what you want to pursue or what suits your interests. Okay.
Well, I suppose in terms of different, I mean, thinking I have an uncle who's a dentist, and still is a dentist for decades, and is also now a barrister as well. So there's you really can pivot into something drastically different. What about yourself, Claire?
Yeah, I'm the same as Avril. I attended NUI Galway. I studied corporate law and French, and following that then I did a LLB postgraduate diploma in law. So I suppose my undergraduate degree was very much legally focused, and during that time I just loved studying all the case law. I don't come from a family of lawyers, but my dad was always really interested in what I was studying in college, and I'd be telling him all about the cases every week when I come home. And it was from that then I was like, actually this can really help people, and that's what brought me into the law. Following university then I got a job in Galway, and I undertook my FE1 exams, which are the entrance exams to the Law Society, and just went on from there and qualified in 2019 and been working in Ennis now the last number of years. So it's been great.
And even though we're talking about the last 10-12 years, say, and Avril, you began your journey in 2014 as you mentioned, and even though women now make up a large part of the profession, have there still been challenges along the way, and has there been challenges because of your gender, or has that really fallen by the wayside? I'm presuming that was maybe a thing in the past, maybe less so now. I think
it's probably more something in the past, but historically I think the first woman to practice in Ireland and qualify and get her paper signed was in 1923. I looked that up. So I think we've come a long way in the 103 years odd. There's no real barriers now per se. I suppose everybody is free to pursue whatever degree they want, but I think the challenges are for when you get your FE1s, getting a training contract can be quite hard. Or you had to relocate to Dublin and go into Blackhall Place when I was training, and I think that's gone now. You can do a hybrid working model or a hybrid course, which is much more beneficial. But yeah, there's always barriers to any career. I think financially it can be hard when you start out. Getting your training contract can be very hard. But I think it's like anything. If you're passionate about it, you just have to persevere and keep going with it. And now even with the rates of partnership, the statistic, the Law Society have said that there still is, it's like the Dáil, there's not huge female representation at partner level. So I think there is work to be done there, and there's always going to be barriers to be broken. Yeah.
Okay, that is something I guess you would hope, Claire, that women now making up the majority of solicitors, that's a change over time, and that in terms of partners at law firms, you will see that change over the coming years as well? Or is that going to be a harder ceiling, and maybe not so much a glass ceiling, maybe it's more concrete ceiling, it's going to be harder to break through than getting women into being the predominant gender as solicitors?
Yeah, the percentage I think the Law Society says is 35% of females are partners within the profession. You would like to see that get higher and higher, but there is great progress being made. Like, I work in a firm in Ennis. We have 22 solicitors, 14 of us are female. There's 7 partners, 3 of those are female. So within the firms in Ennis, you do see a lot of female partners, same in Limerick and Galway. So it is very promising to see that roadway is there, and we learn a lot from our female senior practitioners as well in the town. So I'm not sure it's a concrete ceiling, but as Avril said, once you keep persevering and working hard and you want to go down the partner route, I think that the options are there nowadays.
Okay. Avril, do you feel the legal profession today, does it offer more opportunities and perhaps even flexibility for women that it might have done in the past?
Yeah, I think it's a really good career within the profession. Once you've qualified, you can go into so many different areas. It's very diverse. Obviously, I work in a general practice firm. We've 5 solicitors, but within that, we all specialise in different areas, property, family law. But there's so many areas people can go into. You can go into private industry, you can work in the public sector. There's a huge amount of avenues people can pursue. It's a very good career in that way. You will always have job satisfaction. It's very rewarding. You're helping people, you're problem solving. No 2 days are the same. But yeah, I think, it offers a very good, it can be a good life, good working balance if you do it, if you put in, your good habits from the start. We often hear about burnout and people getting stressed out in their career. That's not something I've encountered. I think you can have a very good work-life balance, and you can have, it can support you in different ways. So I do think, it's something that people, if you're passionate about, you should pursue it. It can be very rewarding as a private solicitor and doing private client, you build long-term relationships with families and with clients, and you're going a journey with them from maybe when they buy their first house, you're making their wills, you might be going through a divorce with them, so you can do, you have a whole continuity there. So
you're invested in their story. You're
invested, and I think that's reflected in when you have a very good relationship with your client as well. So I think there's parts of it can be very, very rewarding. Like every career though, there is stressful points too, but it's how you deal with them.
And that aspect of it, Claire, is that what you find most enjoyable about being a solicitor? The knowing you have made a positive impact on someone's life, you've helped to solve a serious issue or complication in their life, and when they thank you, gives you that warm, ready breath glow inside.
Yes, certainly. I'm the same as Avril. I'm a conveyancing and private client solicitor. So people are coming with you and they're buying their first house, or they've experienced a death or something like that. And they place huge trust in you and they rely on you for your advice. And generally they want to build a relationship with their solicitor. They want to have full trust in you. So you do get great satisfaction when they're happy with the outcome. They're happy with the decision they've reached because of your advice. And you're greatly satisfied when they come back to you for repeat business and to go on that journey with them through their lifetime.
We're talking today, on foot of this initiative from the Law Society of Ireland. It's encouraging women in the profession to share their experiences, Avril, and even, I suppose, despite the fact that women make up the majority of solicitors in the country, why is it important to highlight stories such as yours and Claire's?
I think just even to offer, if it's a sounding board, or to encourage others to join the profession or to pursue it. Sometimes people, after completing their degree, might get a bit bogged down. I suppose they're struggling with FE1s maybe, or they don't know where to go. But I think it's really important, if it's something you're passionate about, to pursue it. I think for anyone who was starting out, or if it was a young person looking to pursue a career in law, I would try and encourage them to get as much experience as they can and get involved in different things. I remember doing the free legal advice clinic when I first started out volunteering there. So there's loads of things you can get involved in to help you build and pursue a career in law, and to build a network. It's really important. Those friendships you'll make in Blackhall, and even through working with the Clare Bar Association and working with Clare, you will get to meet your colleagues and you'll get to build a good network with you and support you throughout your career. So I think if this initiative, and it ties in nicely with International Women's Day, and women supporting women, and influencing people, and if that's something then that can help others come along on a rising tide, I think it's very important.
I'm sure you'd agree wholeheartedly with all of that advice, Claire. Is there anything else, anything different, or anything additional you would offer to young women out there thinking of pursuing a career in the legal profession?
Yes, certainly. When I was in NUI Galway, there wasn't an opportunity to do a work placement, but I know it's a huge part of University of Limerick's college degrees, that they all get co-op. One of our solicitors in the office did her co-op in MHP Sellers, and she's still there. But work experience is massive when you're in university. If you can get your foot in the door anywhere, just to work with lawyers, to see what it's like, the day-to-day running of an office, and getting that court experience, just I think gives you a real flavour for what the day-to-day work can be like. And it is so interesting, and you're lucky when you have your professional qualification. You know, it does open so many doors, and not to be afraid of it. You know, once you get through the exams, you know, you're there, you get your professional qualification, work hard from the start, know what your responsibilities are to the public, and just go from there. You know, it does open many doors, and we're very lucky to have our professional qualification.
Well, you've certainly both done a great job of selling the world you're involved in as a route to go down for young women and young men as well. My thanks to both of you, Avril Collentine and Clare Barry. Ladies, thank you very much to both of you for joining me on Morning Focus.